Today we'll be creating this Thor BiFrost effect. The effect consists of some fractal noise, some dust elements, Luma mats, a free plugin for Video Copilot called Saber, and that's used for the lightning and the hash marks on the ground. And yeah, let's get right into the tutorial. Alright, so what you'll need to do is you need to film your footage in the way of your actor or actress examining the weapon, and then have him throw it away and then hold his hand out for a few seconds like he wants to catch it. The reason we do this is so that when you reverse the footage, it'll look like he's holding out his arm waiting for the weapon, comes back, catches it, and then he looks at it. What you'll also need is a clean plate either at the beginning of the video or at the end. Just walk off frame and just get nothing in it, and we'll be using that. What you do is get the footage, time reverse layer, and from here you'll have your guy holding out the arm, Broom flies back, catches it, and then he looks at it. So the problem is there's a few frames beforehand where there's a guy there. So what you'll need to do is find the frame you'd like him to win. So there's this frame. I'm going to press Shift 1. What this does is it creates a little marker, and this is the frame where I want the actor to come back in. So look at the clean plate, drop that, hold Shift, it'll snap right into place. So it'll be him. So now it's an empty frame, and got that. What I want to do is press G and then T, lower the opacity, mask around the actor. This doesn't have to be that great of a mask, it's just area of the thing. Turn up the opacity, and now you have a clean plate until the frame you want him to come in. But to make this look a little bit better, I'm going to animate the opacity. So, have it at 0, the final frame, then move a couple frame back, and have it fade in. Just like. But we're going to do the same thing with the broom, because in the animation, I had the broom coming vertically from, or horizontally from the side instead of coming up. So what you'll need to do is duplicate the clean plate, press U to see all the keyframes, delete the opacity, delete the mask, and then create a new mask around the broom. Oh. Remember to click the layer. What's happening? Oh. What you want to do is go back, lower the opacity, and then mask around it. This doesn't have to be that great of a mask as well. Just mask, opacity. I want to keyframe it. Follow the broom. We trim that first frame, turn up the opacity so it gets rid of it. We'll now have an empty frame until the broom comes in. The reason for that is so we can then animate the broom. You can get rid of the shadow as well, but the shadow helps sell the effect a little bit better. So from the main footage, I want to do duplicate, put this on top, name this one broom animation. So, okay, broom animation. And what you want to do is find the frame where the broom comes back in. So this frame here, time, freeze frame, freeze frame. do a quick garbage mask around this weapon. This doesn't have to be that great of a mask because the motion blur will be so high because it's moving at such a high speed. You won't actually see around it. There. Alright, so what you'll have now is a floating broom. Just kind of standing there. What we want to do is go to mask, press F, add a bit of feather, do it at the edges. What I also like to do is move the anchor point, because currently the anchor point is right here. So if you rotate it, it rotates around from that axis, which doesn't look as right. So if you press A and then move the broom so it's about in the middle of the broom. And what this does now, if you animate the rotation, it'll animate it from the middle. And what you'll do here is just press B, bring up the key, move it to about the position it was before, press P, go back a few frames, broom over here, so now you have a broom animating. What you want to do is at the last frame trim it, so then it transitions back into the original broom. So what you'll have is something like this. You can also animate the rotation if you like. So at the end, always go to the end, press the keyframe first, go over, and then rotate it like that. What you'll have is broom rotating into his hand. And to sell it just a little bit more, you can enable the motion blur so that the blur brings it in. Alright, so once you've gotten the animation of the broom coming in and fitting in, what you want to do is create a new comp, so new composition, call this fractal animation, and make it 2000 by 6000. Everything's okay. You want to create a new solid, so right click solid, fractal, doesn't matter what color it is, there's comp size, drop it in. What you want to use is type in fractal noise. By the way, I'll be using this effect console by Video Copilot. What it is you can press two buttons, it opens up a console, and you can type it in. The exact same as coming over here, typing in the effect, dragging it, dropping it. It's just a lot more quicker. Highly recommend you go out to Video Copilot and checking it out. It's a free plugin. From here, what you want to do is you want to go to basic, switch it from basic to max. You can just soft linear to spline. Go to transform, uncheck uniform, drop the width, and increase the height. Get a little bit more. What this is doing is create the streak effect for the BiFrost effect. You can play around with the contrast and the brightness. Allows more variation, I guess. There's it. That looks good. For evolution, what you want to do is press Alt and then click on the time watch. This brings up the expressions. The expression I want is time times 100. What this does is it adds a little bit of an animation to it. So it creates, you can also just keyframe your evolution, but this is a lot easier and does the exact same thing. There. And the next thing is you want to go to offset turbulence. Do the same thing, so press Alt time watch, And for this one, it is for this expression, it is value, lowercase value, or lowercase v, value plus square bracket 0, comma, time, and then times 9,000 bracket. What this does is it creates the effect of it going down and only going down. You can also do keyframes as well. You can press Alt and then just animate the second parameter of the keyframes, and it'll do the exact same thing, but this just makes it a bit easier. So now what you have is the effect of it moving down like that. Close that up. You want to add a tint to get the colors. Go to white. For the video I made, I had an orange. For that, what you can do is Control D, copy it, turn this one to screen, change the color if you like. So the other one I changed it to a lighter blue. And if you like, you can change the variation, so you can go to evolution options and then change the seed, so it's a bit different. But what you can also do is change the width, so you have some bigger streaks now within the smaller ones. You can make it a bit longer. You can change the contrast again, find something you like. Blue is a bit too. So now what you'll have is a animation of fractal noise going down. Alright, so move back to the main comp. What I'll do is go to project, find animation. So there's the animation there. Drop it on top. Press CC cylinder. Position. That's not the right one. Rotation is the correct one. And what you'll want to do is you want to rotate it. So get it right spot where you believe. Right around the Z space. Back if you like. Make it a bit wider. The most important part is try to get the rotation right. Looks like it's actually part of the footage. So, lower the opacity. Make sure I can covering the actor. Get a bit wider. And rotate it. Alright, so now you have this effect. Fractal noise going down. The opacity back up. Thing. Right click, recompose, portal. Move all attributes. I'm gonna change the color. I think there's a bit too much blue in it. over screen, transfer mode to screen. Adds a little bit of variation. Want to add roughen edges. Go down to fractal sharpness, fractal edge. You want to increase. What this will do is it'll soften the edges a bit and create it so it's not sharp looking on the bottom and get a bit of a glow effect. Here, what you want to do is add a linear white. So, what is happening here is at a frame or 4 seconds in is when the portal should be disappearing. So at first you want a few seconds where there's nothing in frame. So I'll do 1 second where there's nothing in frame. And then what you want to do is animate the fractal noise, or animate the linear white to come in. So this is the incorrect angle. So you want to animate it from the top. So type in 0. What this will do is it'll create the portal coming down. Okay. 1 second in, go to transition completion, press keyframe, move ahead a couple frames. I'm gonna do over half a second and have it go to 0. So now you have the animation of it going down. You can do too is feather the edges quite a bit, so the streaks look a little bit longer and not as sharp. So what you have now is the effect, a clean plate, and then this streak of lights coming down from the top and hitting the ground. Like that. Alright. Add some glow. What I do is I turn down the threshold quite a bit, and then just boost the radius. To make your glow look more effective, what else you can do is you can go to your project settings, click on it, change it from 8-bit to 32, Adobe RBG, and then linearize. This makes the glow fall off look a lot more natural and blends in a lot better with the footage. From there, what you want to do is animate like this. So now you have come down. Alright, from there what you want to do is control. What else you can do if you like, it's not mandatory, is you can add a vector blur. What this does is it changes the variation of the streaks so they don't look so great and natural. So it changes them up and adds a bit of variation to it. I'll just change that to 10 and leave it like that. Then you'll want to copy that, put it underneath it. For this is going to be the big white glow inside. So what I do is I scale it down. And a bit longer. So just position it somewhere inside. Go to your glow and change original colors. A and B, white, and then turn the threshold down a lot. So what this is now, this is that inner white glow you get in the effect. Play around with the threshold and radius to find something. What you're trying to avoid is empty spaces like this. It won't look there's something inside of it. So I'll bring threshold down a bit. Radius. That's a lot better. You could try the original colors too if you like, but it's up to you. Alright, so now you've created the portal effect. You have the animation of it coming down in the ground. What you want to do afterwards is create an animation of this disappearing. Put composition, new comp, transition, and just do 1920 by 1080. New solid fractal noise, fractal. Type in fractal. For this here, it's just the animate. It's just going to be the fade. So what you want to do is transformation, scale it up quite a bit, turn up the contrast. What we'll be doing is we'll be animating the brightness. So from black to white, I'll create the transition. Go to brightness. When it's all black, 180, and go to second and make it so it's all white. Now you have this transition. And what you do is bring that down, right click, go up to work area. So now you have this animation. But what you also can do is go to CC 3DL fast blur, add that. Let's add. What I found, this adds a little bit more animation to it, so it doesn't look as organic as it could. Here, you go back to your project, find your transition comp, drop it on top, and I'm going to rename this one to white inner below. Transition, you know, you can rotate it if you like to. It's just got to cover the portal. So here is where I want the portal to actually end. So turn this one back on. Find one that's completely white. Up there. Change the toggle switches to none and Luma matte. We Luma inverted matte. So what happens is you have the portal going down. At the end, start to fade away. It will come back, so what you have to do is just trim the end of the thing there. Doesn't come. What I want to do is copy that too, drop it above, inner glow, Same thing, Luma. Alright, so what you have is it slowly fading away and then your actor appearing, catching it. You'll have this come back, so what you'll need to do is trim this last frame. That. Then you'll catch it. Go. So the first problem here is I find that there's too many random patches. So what I'm going to do is go to transition, fractal, effects, and then boost up the transform a bit bigger. When it goes back, the fades are a little bit less small or less as big, and you gotta really fool around with this. Same with the time. Like the fade might be a bit too quick, but you gotta find that sweet spot where it looks nice. I'm also gonna move the portal in the white. Center it a bit better there. It's actually covering the actor. Right. You also can do too is boost the white glow just a bit more. Not covering as much as like here. I'm gonna move this. You want to cover it up so you don't see the actor fading in. Just like that. There you go. From here on, what you'll want to do is then you'll need to create the effect on the ground. So what I did was I found a BiFrost logo somewhere online. It's a small image, but it'll work for this sake because it doesn't have to be that detailed. Please scale it up. I'm gonna make mine a 3D layer because I have to rotate it on the Z space. Make it actually look like it's part of the footage. And drop it down. It's covering everything. Alright, go to effects, go to Luma key, key out brighter. Do is what you want to do is mask out these darker spots if yours hasn't. So what I did was I just went to the Eclipse tool, and clicked on the layer, and double click on it, and it just happens to make a mask that works quite nicely. Then you can go to feather and feather the edges, like it's a tab. From there, what you want to do is minimize that, go to effect, then you do the Luma key, bring back the detail. Alright, go to toggle switches, go over to normal. For this sake of the tutorial, soft light made it look the best. What you can do is hard light as well, but I found it's a bit too dark. When it's on gravel, I found that soft light looks, this is nice. There, what you want to do is add a glow. Radius down. bring the radius up, and then bring the threshold up as well. I found this kind of helps film a little darker, or the lighter spots I had before. Blend it in just a little bit better. Alright. There, what I want to do, add a tint. Mine just had a brown tint to it, so I'm adding a tint. Get rid of that little dab. And then you can add a vector blur. You want to just randomize it, just make it look less natural. There you go, you have the cheap BiFrost effect, I guess. Move the portal again, but actually looks like it's on the BiFrost effect, or the teleportation. What you also can do is you can have it slowly fading in over time instead of just being there at the end. So what I did was I reused the transformation transition plugin, so plugin but off. And time stretch with 200. Now it's twice as long. I want it to be pretty well visible by here. Go to that. See. White. Bring that. Then you're going to do exactly the same thing. So, which this one is Luma Matte though, because you want it coming in slowly. It won't be there, it'll slowly fade in. Then once you get to the last frame, what you want to do is Control Shift D. Good. Alright, what I forgot to mention, there was a slight problem I was having there, is when it flickered like that, the reason why is because I had the second one set on Luma Matte and there was no matte for it. If you turn that off and turn it to no track, then it should slowly transition from the one that was transitioning to the other one seamlessly. Just like that. And extend that one to as long as comp is. You have it slowly fading in. And then edges in. Alright, now what else you need to do is you need to roto out the lags. It's exciting, but what you can do is Control D, the main footage, up top. Also, the BiFrost effect should be underneath the portal. Drop it underneath the light streak effect and look a little bit more now. Go back to the normal. And this is the roto. So if I go there. What I'll be doing is rotoing out his legs. There's a couple ways you can do this if you like. The way I'm doing seems to work. And, all it is using the color. that. Luma key. Go brighter. And then slowly bring. Needs to be rough. This doesn't have to be perfect, obviously, because not many people will be looking at the feet and seeing how well the roto is. For a quick demo, you do something like that. Now you can see that the feet are on top. You can see there's detail going through on the highlights of the main footage, but tutorial purpose like that. Alright, so now you have the roto, and what you want to do is rename that. So roto feet, roto, drop that underneath that'll be. Alright, so what you have now is you have the portal coming in, closing, and then the BiFrost slowly appears on the ground, slowly fades in. What I want to do now is create a new solid. This is going to be the ashes on the ground, so type in ashes. And the effect we're going to use is Saber. It's a free plugin by Video Copilot. It's quite effective. I would highly recommend watching his videos on it. And you just go to videocopilot.net, go to plugins, and then download Saber for Windows or Mac, whichever user. Alright, from there, all I want to do, make it into a 3D layer, hold the pick wick with the BiFrost logo, hold shift, and then let go. This creates like 3D perspective. That's the BiFrost effect. Turn that off. The pen tool. What you're going to do is a few masks on where you want the face on. There. Oops. Yeah, on his feet there. Am I coming around? Here. Alright, so if you turn back on a layer, it'll be the one single core. All you can do is just go to core type, custom core type, and then change the layer mask. And the transfer modes. Then you have lightsaber. To make it more look like ashes, what you want to do, change it to firestorm. Bring up the intensity. Add. Drop this down to about 0.5 plus core light. I go to distortion, glow distortion, increase that. Bring down the wind speed so it's not moving around as much, or pretty much at all. And the noise speed as well. Down. Go to core distortion, do the same thing, increase that. Change the wind speed down. Something very, very slow. And the noise speed is very. What you got now is you'll get this amber patterns down on the ground. Here, if you like, you can add a colo. Bring up the radius quite a bit and bring up the threshold. That adds just a bit of glow around it and not so much like a pop or anything like that. And you can see it's behind my foot, so I'm gonna bring that underneath my foot roto so my foot's in it. For this, you don't really see it a whole lot coming in. You can use the Luma matte technique as well if you like. have the transition and then set it. But for this, I'm just gonna animate the opacity. So when it starts slowly transitioning in, set a keyframe at 100, then bring it down to 0. Bring this into light. So what you have now is all the BiFrost ground mark is coming in as well. The ambers are slowly fading in. Alright, so here you can see that both the mark it leaves on the ground plus the ambers slowly fade in and will appear in. Perfect. So what's next is you're gonna have to animate the lightning to go around the thing, and I use the same technique as I use with the Saber plugin, so you can create a new solid. Name this one blue light. Go to Saber, drop that, turn this off. Turn off the motion blur so you can see the broom just a little bit better. And what you want to do is just create one single mask. It doesn't really have to be any shape particular, just random shape, because we'll distort it so much that it'll cover more and it won't actually be in the thing. So mask, path, go back a few keyframes. This, cancel that. What you want to do too is actually move the mask, not just move the position of the mask. For that, alright, what I've created here is a quick mask around the broom. You can see it just kind of follows it around. It doesn't have to be exact, like I said before. The distortion is just gonna move it all around. From there, you want to turn the layer back on. There's a custom core to layer mask. Change the blending mode from normal to green. And the preset we were going to use again is Meteor. Here, what you want to do is change the color to blue or whatever your video beholds, I guess. Turn down the, where's that? 0.9. For the distortion, what you're going to do is go to glow distortion, turn down the speed, get it before the noise speed, for distortion. I'm going to increase this just a bit, but adds more of a ending effect. You can keep it animated just as bit, like don't turn it as low as the other one. Keep it down. Solo this layer here. This is kind of what it looks like. It's lightning effect with falling. Turn that off. Back to the layer. Let's see. It kind of covers the thing. You can turn up the little coarse size if you want. Actually, add a glow and gives it more radius. You can just tweak your mask path, but always covering the thing. saber for distortion. The more you open up your mask, the more it'll cover, obviously. So, great. Like that. This is what we get. Glowing blue catches it. What you also can do is add some fake motion blur. So for here, I'm gonna go layer, direction blur, change the direction, the actual direction is going in. So left, blur. Just a little bit. It adds a little bit of motion. Keyframe. Press U to see where all your keyframes are. At the beginning of that. Slightly decrease as it gets closer. Then afterwards, bring it down. You can leave it so it adds a bit so the edges aren't as sharp. I'm gonna leave it at 0.5, so adds sharpness to it. Now have the weapon of choice towards lightning. Now here at the end, what I did was I'm gonna have it slowly fading away. But to do that, you just go to saber or size, keyframe, and where the animation is done, change it from whatever it was. So now you have it slowly fading away. Alright, and after you've gotten the blue lighting effect, it pretty much wraps up the effect completely. You have it animated to your liking. You can adjust the mask, like to cover a few things that are not working as much. But this is the final product that you should get. Slowly fades out. To sell this effect more, what you can do is pre-compose all this and add a camera shake for when the portal comes down and pushing it away. When he catches it, add a bit of shake as well. If you also shoot in 4K like this footage is here, you can rescale it and have it so that the camera is not static and that it's more action shot, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much the effect. It looks pretty nice in my opinion and quite simple and only uses After Effects. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see some more tutorials.